Hi guys, and welcome back from Carly at the Herbathicary. Really good to see you guys again. If you're new to the channel or like the videos, please show your support by hitting like and subscribe down below. Let us know that you've enjoyed it, found something useful, and you'll get notifications whenever we do any new videos. We do have ones on everything from crochet to macrame to hundreds of foraging videos and recipes, identifications, and soups, stews, risottos, lots of videos. Hope you enjoy them. Today is March 23rd, 2021, exactly a year since lockdowns began here in the UK. And if there's anything this year has taught us, it's that nothing is more important than our family and nature, a chance to get out and breathe the fresh air and make the best of what we have. So today we have another lockdown edition, and we will be making nettle soup because we all need an immune boost as we suffer from seasonal colds and spring is almost springing. So the disclaimer: I am not a doctor, I am not an ethnobotanist, I am a student of life, as they say, a forager through and through, and I would just like to share the information I have. This is a beautiful recipe. Hope you do give it a go. Always do your own thorough research. Don't eat anything unless you're 100% sure. Make sure you have the landowner's permission. Avoid areas where they spray pesticides or animals may have sprayed, and only ever take as much as you need. So let's get out and find ingredient number one, the beautiful stinging nettle or Urtica dioica. Now I add this into everything because it's not only high in vitamins and minerals, it also gives you an immense immune boost. Now we are looking to pick the very top 4 to 6 leaves today, and it might be possible to pick young leaves without gloves as their hairs haven't fully developed yet, or if you're stealthy enough to squash the hairs before they brush past you and sting you, I do advise wearing trousers and a very thick pair of gloves. Now, although this soup is absolutely scrumptious with nettles alone, this time of year is a plethora of other goodies that you shouldn't miss out on. The first thing we came across were some blackberry brambles. Now, these tiny little shoots that are coming out at the moment are so tasty and can be eaten raw, but mostly they aid digestion, so they're great to add into any meal. Don't take more than you need, as these are obviously the new leaves developing for the next season, but we shall grab them and pop them in too. Hiding underneath those brambles, I found another one of my favorites, nice and safe from the animals, and this is garlic mustard. Now this little patch is actually huge, and I add it to everything not only for its garlicky mustard flavor, but for its high vitamin C content. And hiding just next to that, I found another one I leave out of no meal. It's the young dandelion leaves, great at this time of year. Not only full of vitamin C, A, K, and E, loads of the minerals, it's also a great source of fiber. But one of my favorite things is it helps maintain blood sugar levels and increases the uptake of the vitamins and minerals in the other food you're eating. So I'll pick a few of them and they can go in too. The last green I'm picking does grow prolifically in the fields around me. However, it does grow in my garden as well. And as I like to keep it cut back and short as it is invasive, and these young tender leaves are the best, I use this as a parsley substitute as well as a green leaf that is high in vitamins and nutrients. As too many of these beauties can have a sedative and laxative effect, and unfriendly combination, we're going to pick about a dozen and I'll meet you back in the kitchen. So I am making a wild garlic roll to go with my soup. If you saw my last videos, you saw the beautiful field of wild garlic we found. I popped some of that in my dehydrator. So I'm using about 2 cups of flour. I'm then going to add a dash of the wild garlic salt that we made up from the dried garlic. I don't need a full sachet, 7 grams of yeast for this, only about 4 to 5. And then I am going to season it heavily with that dried and ground up wild garlic. Once you have your required amount of wild garlic, mix all your dry ingredients together and then slowly add slightly warm water. Mix that in until it all starts to come together, and then you're going to knead it. If it's too wet, add more flour. If it's too dry, add more water. Once that's ready, we are going to slightly flour the baking tin or baking tray that you wish to bake it in. Pop it in there, cover it with a plastic bag and pop it somewhere warm in order to rise. So while that's doing its thing, we're going to get on with our soup. And as always, our first job to do is to give our leaves a very good clean. So we're going to wash them off. I'm just using a bowl now as the sink is full. Shh, don't tell anyone. And I will be adding a chunk of onion and some butter and a large potato in this one. You can obviously adjust these quantities as you so wish, but we're just going to roughly chop these as it's going to be processed afterwards. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, as I said, I am using butter. However, if you'd like the dish to be vegan, you can use olive oil or something else instead. I'm just going to pop a healthy chunk of butter in here, allow that to melt, and then in go our onions. Now, we don't want these to caramelize, just soften and go translucent. I would normally add a couple of cloves of garlic at this point, but as we have those wild garlic leaves frozen, I am just going to break up a handful of those, pop them in at this point and keep them stirring until they've softened in nicely and those onions have absorbed all the garlicky flavors. Once the air is full of the smell of garlicky onion goodness, it's time to add in your potatoes. I stir them for about 5 minutes till they've soaked up the remaining butter and some of the flavors. You could add stock if you so wished at this point, but I just add about 500 mils of water, let that simmer until the potatoes are nice and soft, adding more fluid as needed while they get that way. You can season at this point. I'm using a dash of turmeric and a dash of black pepper today. I added another 500 mils of water and allowed it to simmer until the potatoes could be smushed easily on the side. And now it's time to add our leafy greens. Now this bit is optional, but I'm just going to give them a rough chop with the scissors just to help break up some of the fibers and allow the goodness to be released, although this isn't necessary as we will be blending everything together in the end. Now we don't want these to cook for too long as we don't want them to wilt down and go brown. We want them to keep the nice green color. So I put this on about 40 degrees, the lowest heat my cooker would go, and allowed it to sit for about 10 minutes while those leaves softened. I then turned off the heat and allowed it to cool for 5 minutes so I didn't get scalding water on me when I popped it through the food processor, but in that went, and then off to my loaf, which is risen quite nicely. So I'm going to preheat the oven to 180, pop that in, and once that's ready, it's time to serve up our soup. So this is actually a really nice crispy roll. I'm really going to enjoy this. So let's get on with our lunch. I like a bit of texture in my soup, so I didn't blend it until it was completely smooth. I still have some leafy bits left in it, but that's the way I like mine. Obviously, blend it for longer until completely smooth if that's what you prefer. You could also even add a bit of cream to it if you liked it a bit creamier, but I like mine this way and it is absolutely delicious.
Hope you guys found that fun like I did and useful, picked up maybe a tip or two, another item to go and research in your own time. Again, thank you guys for coming back to the Apothecary. It was great to see you again. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.